We all dream of it, don't we? That one-in-a-million moment. You're rummaging through a dusty box in a local charity shop, sifting through a tangle of old plastic beads and clip-on earrings, and your fingers close around something different. Something with a bit of weight. Something that just feels special. Most of the time, it's a lovely bit of old costume jewelry. But for one astonishingly lucky guest on the BBC's Antiques Roadshow, that little moment of that's nice turned into the jackpot of a lifetime. This is the kind of story that makes you want to immediately run to your nearest second-hand store. A woman, whose name we don't know, but whose gasp we now all recognize, brought a small brooch to the experts at Thirlestane Castle in the Scottish borders, and in doing so, she gave us all a masterclass in trusting your gut. The story starts, as all the best ones do, in a charity shop. The guest explained her find to jewelry expert Susan Rumfitt. She was browsing through the odds and ends, specifically a box of costume jewelry, when the brooch caught her eye. It was mixed in with all the fakes, but as she explained, it just didn't feel like the others. It didn't feel like costume jewelry to me, she told Susan. Susan, instantly intrigued, asked her to elaborate. The guest's answer was the first clue that she had a brilliant instinct. She said that costume jewelry usually feels very light. Susan nodded in agreement. This piece had a heft, a quality that made her pause. So she bought it. The grand total for this intriguing little object? A mere £2.50. Most of us would have just popped it in a drawer and forgotten about it, but the story gets even better. The brooch wasn't perfect. The clasp was broken. The guest, being a practical sort, took it to a local jeweler to see if it could be repaired. While she was there, she casually asked the question we all would: is it worth anything? The jeweler, according to the guest, was dismissive. Not really, he apparently said. And then he said the 4 words that should set off alarm bells for anyone. But if you're selling it, I'll buy it for £50. Can you imagine? £50 is a tidy profit on a £2.50 purchase. Many of us would have bitten his hand off. £50 for a broken bit of old tat? Sold. But this guest is our hero. She's savvy. As she recounted to Susan, a little alarm bell went off in her head. And I thought, well, if he wants to buy it for £50, it's probably worth a little bit more. A little bit more. Oh, just you wait. She held onto it, unsecured clasp and all, and eventually found herself in the queue for the Antiques Roadshow. She sat down opposite Susan Rumfitt, placed the small brooch on the table, and waited. This is the moment we all live for. Susan's eyes instantly lit up. She began to unlock the secrets hidden within the piece, and it became clear this was no ordinary trinket. It was, as Susan explained, a devotional piece, absolutely dripping with hidden meaning. The brooch was set with deep blue sapphires and sparkling diamonds, but these weren't just for show. The sapphires symbolize devotion, Susan explained, and the diamonds represent everlasting, eternal love. But the romance didn't stop there. So you've got a very devotional and romantic piece of jewelry, Susan continued, but you may have noticed as well that the mounts are 2 entwined hearts. The guest was already looking astonished. This wasn't just a brooch. It was a Victorian love story. Susan speculated it was almost certainly a marriage gift, dating it to around 1870. Oh wow! The guest breathed, the first of many shocks to come. Susan turned it over, examining the craftsmanship. It's mounted in gold at the back. The brooch pin is gold, that gives it nice strength. This explained the weight the guest had first noticed. And then around the top, Susan pointed out, you've got silver to give some brightness to the stones as well. This combination of silver set on gold is a classic, telltale sign of high-quality jewelry from that specific period. Before platinum became widely used, silver was the metal of choice to make diamonds look their absolute brightest, while the gold backing provided the strength and value. Susan did note one thing. I've had a good look at the brooch and unfortunately, there isn't a maker's mark on it. But as she quickly clarified, this was no problem at all. During the 19th century, it wasn't essential to mark jewelry. And then Susan got to the part we were all waiting for. The build-up, the killer question. It was in a box of costume jewelry, and how much did you pay for that? The guest, with a slight smile, delivered the line. £2.50. You can just imagine the sharp intake of breath from the surrounding crowd. Susan Rumfit's professional smile widened. This was the moment. So, as far as value's concerned, Susan declared, her voice full of warmth, it's got everything.